Hello, and welcome to the live play of Hit the Streets, Defend the Block. This is a game that I'm running for members of the Gauntlet community, but it is Hit the Streets, Defend the Block for the Kickstarter as well. So there's like two things in one. This is the second session that we're having of 4. And this is broadcast live on YouTube, so hopefully you guys are out there watching. We did have a number of viewers from the first session. Thank you all for checking that out. If you have any questions about the game, feel free to ask in the comments. I'm more than happy to talk about this game that I've written. And I guess with all that out of the way, let's go ahead and jump back in. First, let me show you the neighborhood that we cooked up last session. This is a neighborhood that we call the Knuckle. I love that. It's probably not the official name. It's not the neighborhood as it's known in the city, but that's what the people who live there call it. We've got a number of interesting things, from the Bougie Grape and Grain, which is a little wine bar and food place here up on Lafayette Boulevard, which is where the ritzy folks live, especially in Lafayette Estates and Lafayette Mansion. Just below that is Cranston Commons Park and the Grand Arches. The Grand Arches is the apartment complex where one of our superpower beings live. And over here is the crappy Wayfair apartments. Look at that. We even have a crack right in the middle of the top, the roof. The beer garden is kind of the local hangout or bar. We've got a number of other places here, from the jail, the municipal building, the big box, second time around, which is a secondhand store, the Daily Fuel, Murdoch train stations over here, and then the place where a lot of people used to work is the old Goodyear factory, which did not have the best of years and closed down. That's the quick overview of the Knuckle as a reminder for everyone. And now I'm going to stop screen sharing and I'm going to pass the baton. After I do one thing, yes, let us talk about safety tools. We are playing a street level supers RPG, and in that things could get intense. Street level supers, broken bones. I don't know. Keeping that in mind, we do have a safety tool that's on the table for everyone to use, even myself, and it's called the X card. The X card is there because I'm going to roll forward with kind of a PG-13 pushing towards R type of game. It might be on a Netflix, with the best of intentions to deliver an interesting and exciting experience, as are all of you. But we may stumble into something that causes discomfort for one of you as players, may even bother me, maybe something that we just don't want to go there. All you have to do is you can indicate an X like here in the camera, or you can type it into we're using Google Hangouts in the last waning days of Google Hangouts before Hangouts on Air goes away. Thanks, Google. So you can put an X in there. And then also we're using Roll for Your Party, which is this website die roller that I'll screen share when we start to roll dice, but it does have safety tools embedded there. Any of those are acceptable. And as soon as you X, then we're going to stop for a moment. I'm going to ask what it was specifically that you X-carded, unless it was like incredibly obvious or you do volunteer that. Not to challenge you to try to talk you out of it, but just to understand, like, okay, was it this part or was it this other thing, so that we understand. Then I'm going to excise it from our play. We're not going to have a discussion about that. It's just, that's gone. And then we've got 5 really intelligent, creative folks here that will not present a roadblock to us at all. We will come up with some other way to do what we want to do, because we are here to have fun, and we're doing that as friends. And that is going to supersede and is more important than any story that we've cooked up. And then the last thing I'll say about X-Card before we move on is that if we start to get into some sensitive material for you and you think you can push through, that's okay. You're an adult. I trust you. But if it comes to the point where several minutes in, you're like, whoa, I really do need to bail on this. This is more intense than I anticipated. You can still X card at that point. You have not obviated the ability to utilize that safety tool. It's always active. Okay? And then I do also just throw in a little bit of lines and veils in that I am going to veil any harm to children. By children, I mean younger than teenager. So that may be a thing that could be discussed, but we're not going to see it on screen, as it were. And then I'm putting a line on sexual assault. It's not even a threat that we're going to make in the fiction, because our individuals can be more threatening in other ways, or can be threatening in other ways. So, with that all out of the way, let me introduce our 4 players for tonight's session. I am going to start with my good friend Joshua. Joshua, how are you? And remind us who it is that you're playing.
I'm great, thank you. I'm playing Barbara. She is a AI researcher who dove too deep and now has some interesting kind of machine interface powers, the ability to make some gadgets that do things they probably shouldn't do. So she's trying to find out how she fits in now that she has these abilities. She really likes helping people, but doesn't want to expose herself to too much risk.
And just to be clear, she's still a person. It's not like she's become an AI. There's something about her powers to where she has control over machines, right?
Right. She's still 99% human as far as she knows.
Very cool. Awesome. And she, as I recall, lives in the Grand Arches, correct?
Yep.
All right. Cool. So then let's jump over and speak to John, my buddy still down in Florida. How hot was it today, by the way?
I don't know. I stay indoors and go from one air-conditioned box to the next, and that's how you survive down here. So
it's a good call. Good call. Well, remind us who you're playing, sir.
I am playing Wraith, real name Harry Lamont. He is the owner of Second Time Around, and he can turn into a ghost and has ability to read minds and things, and generally looks like the spooky type, although really he's just a dude. So he's just like the common man that's trying to help out.
Nice. And he got his powers from a pendant with a broken gem, correct?
Yes, the Dark Shard of Nemrath.
I love that. I love it. Okay, for those who didn't get to see the chat, do you want to share with us where you got that cool name for a thing?
Yeah, so everyone in the Gauntlet, if you're one of the Patreon people, you get a keeper name. So my keeper name is actually Keeper of the Dark Shard of Nemrath. So I figured that was the perfect place for my superpowers to come from.
Love it. I love it. Thank you so much, John. David, good evening, my friend. Friend who's played a lot of Gauntlet Comics games, and it always has my heart with the wonderful emotive characters that you have. How are you doing tonight?
Good. I'm also from Florida. This is a weird bunch.
What?
Yeah. Geographically improbable, but yeah. So I'm playing Copycat. The alias she's going with right now is Allie Carpenter. I think she's a shapeshifter. I think kind of like Mystique, and also sort of a secret agent or former secret agent, I guess, who has left the life to hopefully kind of make amends for the dark things she had to do. So I think I, in the first one, said if you imagine just a smushing together of Mystique and Black Widow, that's kind of what I'm going for.
Now, is she the kind of person who came from a government program that doesn't even have a name, or do we have a name for that government program? Have you thought of one?
Oh, I haven't thought of one, but yeah, I'm gonna have to think about that.
All right, back burner it, and then of course we'll need to come up with an acronym for it. Of course, right? That's the thing.
You have to.
That's right. That's right. Cool. Thank you so much. Oh! Where is it that Copycat lives? Remind us of that one.
Oh yeah, she is currently in Lafayette Estates, and I think she might have actually been born here and then left a long time ago, and then secretly has come back.
Very cool. Very cool. But she doesn't look the way she did before she left, right? Or could people recognize her?
I think she does look different, and she's been really fighting the urge to check in on all the people she left behind.
Nice. Nice. Thank you. Last but certainly not least is we have Chris. Chris, who is a staunch member of Gauntlet Comics, has been running his own Masks games in the Gauntlet Comics, which is the living campaign that this is ostensibly set in. Don't worry, it's not like a whole bunch of canon that you need to worry about. It just exists in our heads, and it's fun that way. Chris, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing very well. I'll be playing Wild Card, the Slacker Sorcerer, the discount wizard, the backdoor, your classic like backdoor under the table, horse trading sort of magician. The guy you would buy a charm to keep your dry cleaning from smelling too quickly, so that you can put off taking it to the cleaner. He's that kind of guy.
Nice. And he stays at Wayfair Apartments. I'd already mentioned that before. So in the last session, we had ended with you guys teaming up together in an attempt to ascertain exactly what had happened to the human hurricane, aka Tag Hanover. Tag Hanover, we began the session with you guys last session, dealing with him. He was at the Cranston Commons Park and somehow had become a human hurricane, and it caused a good bit of trouble. When you guys waylaid him and took him down, you realized, and by you, I mean the Wraith, realized that he had been controlled somehow. Did a little bit of recon there, investigation, and found in his crappy little studio apartment at the Grand Arches that checking the security tapes, not that there were a whole lot, but Glitch is good at what she does. She might be the best there is at what she does, one might say. And she found that the Pusher, who is a member of your rival team, the rival team known as the Whisper Syndicate, vigilantes who go overboard, who stretch the truth to make trouble for enemies and assume that their enemies are guilty before ever putting them on trial. And that's how they go after the bad guys. And we also know Copycat used to be a member of the Syndicate, and one of her old allies in this unnamed government program started the Whisper Syndicate long ago. And so Copycat left, but maybe they still know she's out there. We'll find that out. And the last thing that we did in our session was that Wildcard, with some help from all the rest of you, had cast this spell where he threw into a little saucepan, like the largest thing that Tad had in his tiny little studio apartment, with a bunch of very aromatic, shall we say, vegetables and some other like fetishes items from Tag's apartment, and poured all of that into his sandals. The guy had a lot of sandals, I recall. And now he was walking a mile in his shoes trying to learn where it was the Tag had gone before he came here, fell asleep, and then the Pusher came in and did something to him. And we cut right as you guys came out to the parking lot at the Grand Arches. And so you had rolled a significant number of successes, Wildcard, and only through that powerful magic are you able to realize that he took a car. Like, you walk right to the car that he was in. You think that you can follow. Maybe you don't even have to drive in his car, because you probably need to. Oh, you guys could probably hotwire it. I'm sure Glitch could probably start an engine. I don't even know if that would be too much trouble for her. But if you guys want to hop in Tag's car to try to follow the trail back, you can. Otherwise, maybe you guys want to take your own vehicles, but you've got the scent, as it were, Wildcard. You think that you can follow it back to the source. What would you like to do?
Oh, we definitely have the scent, because these sandals absolutely reek now, if they did not before. I don't think we ought to take Tag's car. I mean, guy seems to have been through enough. I mean, maybe we want to keep the window down and keep these sandals outside the actual car, if we can. I'll just stick my feet out the window. and I'll just tell you where to turn. How does that sound? One of you people has a car, I'm sure, right?
Wow.
Sure.
Everyone's like,
probably.
Someone's like rolling a die. Yes, I have a Hyundai. No.
I definitely have one, but it's only got 2 doors, so you have to like fold the seats down to get in the back. It's not fancy.
Nice. Like a little hatchback.
Yeah,
So fun.
exactly. We could all cram in there.
Nice. So you guys can cram into the 2-door hatchback, and Wild Card will stick the sandals out of the window. Who would like to determine the style of music that is on the radio right now? It's got to be like the Knuckles local radio station. So first one who throws out gets to tell me what style of music plays on the Knuckle AM radio.
AM radio. It's got to be like classical or something. Yeah. It's yeah. Actually, right now, because we're starting to get into the evening, they're playing the Hour of Smooth Jazz. So
nice. So you guys are treated to some smooth jazz. Chris needed to step away, deal with some IRL stuff, which is totally cool. And you got only an hour of smooth jazz. Someone said in there, only an hour. Oh, takes you away from that debate, but that's okay. You head out of Grand Arches up West Reevy Terrace, which, if you guys remember, actually, why don't I even share screen so we can follow the map together? If only I had the ability to draw a red dotted like line, wouldn't that be so cool, right? So you guys come out of Grand Arches, take a left, heading up West Reevy Terrace until you reach Lafayette Boulevard. You pass Lafayette and then take a left right into the back employee parking lot of the Grape and Grain. And so now you have arrived at the Grape and Grain in Glitch's 2-door hatchback Grape and Grain. You are, and I'll switch off of screen share. This is the cheapest car in the lot. Like this is the employee lot, but evidently it's also where maybe the employer parks, because there are a number of really nice SUVs. There's like a not jacked up redneck, but like jacked up like truck, one of those like double like 4-door truck type deals going on. Really sleek looking sports car all parked back here in the back. There's like a little gate, but yeah, it's not closed. It's like it's gated, but then there's this opening thing, and you guys pull in there, and that's where the trail leads inside the Grape and Grain through the back entrance. What do you wish to do?
Does this seem too rich for Tad's taste?
Yeah. You think Glitch has caught on to something. This is not a place. Like, he works at the beer garden, hauling stuff around for minimum wage. He has a studio apartment. He has a crappy car, like a Yugo. And here he is. The last place that he went before he came there and went to sleep was here at the Grape and Grain. So what do you guys want to do?
Well, first I will slowly, like reverse Dukes of Hazzard style, try to slide out through the window so I don't actually get these sandals inside Glitch's car.
Very thoughtful.
I mean, I end up basically falling because, I am not coordinated at all. And I try to figure out like where he entered the Grape and Grain. So I like to try and like follow his footpath.
Sweet. Awesome. You like slip the sandals back on. They're nice and mushy, and very, very cold now because they've been out in the cool night air. It's past midnight now. They have not done final call at the Grape and Grain. There are still people here. Like you saw, the employee lot had, half dozen cars. And it looks like he made a beeline right for the back door there, which you know, maybe it's locked, maybe it's not. Really up to you if you want to find that out.
Oh, I'll stomp up there and like test it.
Cool. So jiggle the handle, and it is locked. So evidently someone unlocked to let him out, or he had a key.
Is this like the employee entrance, or?
Yeah, it's a back entrance. You would imagine it's an employee entrance.
Is it an electronic lock or is it like a regular lock? Oh, I'm sorry.
It's like a regular lock.
I've looked at everybody else. Like anybody good at like dealing with this sort of thing?
Yeah, I've picked a few locks.
All right. If you want to go ahead and pick the lock, that is quite all right. The difficulty is a good difficulty. It's a good lock. So you'll need 3 pals. The good news is that tension is not in effect. There are cameras on the back lot, but there is not one. But you know how to kind of work on this without being under the eye of that camera.
So is this which stat would this fall under?
Well, I mean, picking a lock, it sounds like it's something that's a normal person would do, right?
Yeah.
I think you, as the con artist, trying to pick a lock feels like that's within your role, so you can use that. So how are you picking this lock? I think that'll tell us what stat you're using.
Yeah, I assume she's been trained to kind of pick locks before. I don't know exactly which stat that would fall into, though. I feel like I could see it going head or hands.
I could see either of those. Although if you imagine that she has some like lock picking tools, then you could easily roll tools as well.
Oh, hey, that gives me more on a dice. I'll go with that.
And now
she takes out her little.
There we go.
Lock pick kit, I guess.
Okay, cool. So that gives you that, and then you're highly trained. So that definitely works for me. So that gives you 2 more. So we've got 1, 2, and 3 more makes it 5, and 2 more makes it 7 dice. You need 3 evens. Do you want to spend any spark to boost your roll before you make it?
Well, might just be Hubers talking, but I think I have a good chance when I go with this.
All right. 7 dice. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4 successes. Yeah. So what does that look like when you pick that lock?
Yeah, I think it's just the stereotypical kind of D&D party, like she's down here doing this. And maybe she's just so confident about it. She's just like not even looking. It's like, all right, well, what's the plan once we get in here? As it like pops open.
Are all 3 of you like wild card, Wraith, and Glitch? You casual about this, like open lock picking at the Grape and Grain, or anybody? Nope. No? Any problem?
Wild card's just sort of leaning up against the back of the building, like.
Yeah, just kind of keep an eye on the parking lot and see if, make sure nobody else is coming around.
Off in the distance, you hear a dog barking, Some glass breaks, like somebody dropped a beer bottle a few blocks away. And bam, she's opened it up.
It's bar's still open, right?
Yeah, bar's still open.
It might be.
Go ahead.
I was going to say it might be best if one of us maybe goes in front and sees, maybe ask some questions. I might see what I can see back here, unless anyone else wants to. Just inviting anybody who wants to sneak around in the back.
Well, I need to go in because I got to figure out where he went.
I'm not huge into breaking and entering, so I'll go around front if anyone wants to come with me. I'm not the best at asking questions, but I can give it a shot.
I'll go in through the back with you guys.
Too worried about being known.
Yeah.
People might recognize you. All right, cool. So Glitch, you come around and enter. How is Glitch dressed? Because that's going to be kind of important.
I think she's dressed like business casual, like as if she was going to a startup. Maybe not a startup. That might be a little too casual, but like a nice tech company where you have to wear all but a tie. But you can wear jeans or whatever, that kind of thing. So she's probably got maybe like a blazer or something going on.
Cool.
Button-up shirt.
It's good that you do. When you walk in, you see that the wait staff are all in like full ties and dressed up. Everybody that's in here drinking, and it's obvious that people have been here for a while. Like it's the post-work crowd that just kind of hangs out. A lot of people with guys who ties are loosened and little bit of buttons unbuttoned, and then there's some guys that are in more of the business casual like you, who it's got those perfect little preppy haircuts going on. You see a lot of golden rings. It's obvious that the shoes are like, we're talking $80 shoes, like the cheapest thing you see. People are well heeled here. This is where a lot of the businessmen and businesswomen come here after a hard day's work. So you come in, and it's got the bar along one wall with a huge mirror behind it, lots and lots of expensive brandy and scotches and all kinds of lots of wine, of course, because it is a wine bar. And then there are a number of open tables in the front, but a lot of the people are in booths near the back and to the sides. And you see quite a few people kind of eyeing you. You are a stranger here. But there's also no maitre d', so it seems like you have to kind of service yourself. Where do you go?
Oh, I think I'm very nervous. So I think she kind of stands in the front looking around, not sure what to do, twiddles her thumbs a little bit, and then probably settles on the bar, just goes and tries to find a place to sit at the bar. Probably puts her laptop like up on top of it, thinks about opening it, maybe like, I don't know, this is probably not that kind of place where you can just pull out your laptop. So she just kind of taps the top of her laptop sitting at the bar waiting for someone to come over and ask her a question.
All right. So, of course, the bartender starts to move over, says, hey, welcome to the Grape and Grain. Is there anything I can get for you, ma'am?
Yeah, I'm new here. This place is great. I'm really enjoying the ambiance. I guess I'll just have a glass of wine or something would be fantastic. What do you recommend?
Oh, well, we have a very nice wine list. And she produces like a little laminated placard, and this is our wines of the week. She slides it over and starts talking you up with a few of the different selections they have, and starts talking about the little microbrew that's recently started, and it just goes over a little bit of a spiel. And the fact that you say you're new, everything seems to be more casual for the moment. Still other people watching you, but at least this bartender's going to go through her spiel. So we cut to the back, and you guys come in. First thing you see is that this is a storage area. There are a number of kegs here that are kind of stacked up. A number of them are empty. You also see there's a wine cellar off to your right, a couple of employee bathrooms, a small little meeting room. Everything here is a little like a little dingier than the front. Like the front room, everything's pristine. The back room is more like lived in, been around for a while. The tiles a little grouts, a little bit missing. Everything seems just a little bit off versus the frontage of this place. And you also see that other than the manager's office, which is closed, there's also a set of stairs that lead down. You can hear the music that's coming in from the back, but there is a door that separates this back area from the front area. What do you want to do?
Walker's going to try and follow these footsteps that he's sensing as best he can.
Okay, they're headed right to the manager's office.
Is the manager's office currently open? Does it look like somebody's in there?
Door's closed, light is on.
I'll sort of sneak up to there as best I can and sort of listen, see if it sounds like someone's actually in there or if they just left the light on.
Okay, cool. So, yeah, give it just a little bit of a listen. You hear there's a low sound. Sounds like a television news report of some kind that's on. Maybe it's the repeat of the 11 o'clock news. Maybe it's CNN. Hard to tell. Yeah. What is the Wraith doing?
The Wraith is there anyone in that back area? Or we haven't seen anyone yet?
You haven't seen anyone in the back area yet, no.
Then
there is a kitchen, but that kitchen area, like there's a door that will come back into the back area. Nobody's kind of pushed through yet. So you hear some people moving around the kitchen, cleaning up, and you hear the sound of like one of those industrial, like dishwasher setups.
I want to ask Copycat what she knows about the Pusher. Like, did you work with him? Is this the type of place he would frequent?
Yeah, do I know anything about him aside any particulars?
So the Pusher is somebody that you've worked with before. You know that he has the ability to push his desires on others, like implant in them thoughts and desires that kind of make it feel like they wanted to do it, but then they can also Pusher can also, with weaker minds, make them do what he wants, plant suggestions that are obsessions to them. Now, is this a place where he would hang out? This is a place where he wants to hang out, but he is an odious individual and has very little class. So he would not be allowed here for long unless he threw his weight around, as it were. And you know that the boss of the syndicate, Captain Shadow, kept him at arm's length.
Yeah, so I think the way she might say that is just, well, he might wish you were here, but this is way too fancy for him to stay too long. He, someone who has the power to mentally control people is pretty creepy, but he would have been creepy without that. Not well liked.
So we have two people that really shouldn't be here, so I guess head towards the kitchen would be our best option then. Because if that type of person was here, they'd be back here, not out there, right?
Possibly. But, I don't know. Is, Wildcard still about?
Yeah, he's standing there in those stinking sandals right outside the manager's office, listening.
So,
hey, I asked a question and everyone was like all pausing and thinking about it. And I thought, wow, that must have been a really hard question. Oh wait, no one's actually moving at all. Okay. I don't know where I was before I cut out.
your frozen picture looks very thoughtful too. I'm like, oh, yeah.
Nice. It looks like my avatar to me. So question, where was I before I disappeared on you guys?
I don't know.
Cool. So, Did you hear the part about there were hidden cameras that
No.
are set up here? Okay. Wow.
Oh, no.
I was been gone for a while. I'm so sorry. I said a lot of stuff, guys. It was all pretty interesting, or so I thought. All right. Copycat. As you're looking around here, thinking about Captain Shadow, you got the information. You relayed the information that Captain Shadow kept Pusher at an arm's distance because Pusher's kind of a odious jerkwad who thinks he deserves everything and doesn't bother to bathe. So as you're thinking about Captain Shadow and looking around here, while the security outside was shoddy, you realize that this is one of the lures that Captain Shadow uses because of the whole thing of like, if you're caught here, you're already broken. You've already committed a crime versus, So you know that there are a few cameras that are trained here in this particular area. Now, you could probably do something about that. But yeah, that's a problem.
Let's see. Yeah, man, we messed up this this delegation. Should have wish I had Glitch here, but might have something maybe to deal with these kind of things. Probably less subtly than Glitch ever could, but
Well, you might be able to contact her through through our little earpiece things that she designed.
oh yeah, good point. I forgot we had that. Well, yeah, I think she'll do that. Hey, Glitch. Hope you're not having. Hope I'm not disturbing your drinking time, but.
So a rosé then? Yeah, that's great. We'll go with the rosé, okay? And that's where you're at right now, making your little wine order when you hear that.
Yeah. No, I probably shouldn't. Yeah, go ahead. I'm in the middle of whatever, but it's fine.
Glitch, don't be weird. You're in the middle of everybody. Just imagine some Bluetooth. Everyone has these. Everyone in this place, at least. Act naturally. We talked about this. All right.
Yeah, that makes me feel better. Thanks. You're right. Everybody in here has one of those.
All right. Yeah. Take some more of that wine. You might need it. What we're gonna do here. We're in the back here, but we got a problem. There's cameras everywhere. Think we could turn those lights out?
I'm not sure I can just do that right here. I mean, this is not like a work from the grape and grain kind of place. I don't even know. I'm sure they have Wi-Fi for people's phones, but I don't think me pulling out my laptop's going to work.
Hey, you got any late night work you got to do from the office? I'm winking right now.
Oh, I'm glad you said that because I wouldn't have known. You know what? Maybe I can just step away for a second. Yeah, I'll see what I can do.
And Glitch, casually Glitch.
Casual. Okay, I'll try. Yeah, I think I'm gonna get up and go to the ladies' room and sit in one of the stalls and pull out my laptop.
I love it. You head into the ladies' room, and there's like this long sink, 3 mirrors, nice little classical music playing. There's an older lady who's seated in there on a little chair. She's got like some mints and like different little towelettes and everything. All the stalls are like extra wide, like handicap stall wide. It's really, really nice. You could totally get a lot of work done in here. What do? You head in, kind of pull up your little laptop there.
Yeah, does she give me a weird look when I bring my laptop in, or is this like she's kind of ignoring the guests unless they need her kind of thing?
She does that polite, like, I'm not staring at you as you come in. She does the little nod, hello. Is there anything that you need tonight, ma'am? Would you like a towel?
Oh no, maybe after.
Oh, of course. And then she
Yeah.
sits there.
I'll just go straight in awkwardly and get to work. Yeah, I'm going to see if I can find a way into their network via the Wi-Fi.
Oh man, I think so. Not only do you want to get into the network, you want to be able to make some drastic changes to the setups of things. So let's do that all encompassing in one roll. Now, we already know that Captain Shadow has likely been involved in this, so that means that tension is in effect here. If you get caught, it might not go very well for you. Captain Shadow is. This person is at least as well trained as Copycat, so his password is not password, let us say. So I'm going to say that you're going to need a remarkable success. You will need 4 evens to crack into this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So to crack into this and be able to take over the smart security and lighting system, you will need 4 successes, and tension is in effect. So every 1 that you roll on this up to the difficulty of 4 will drain you of spark. So even if you succeed, it might hurt.
Yeah, for sure. So I think this is normal.
Yeah, a regular person can. Well, regular people do crack passwords and stuff.
There's nothing here for me to really interface with. It would be useful. So I think normal tools, and I'm gonna spend 2 of my spark.
Okay. And do you think being a strategist applies here?
Oh, sure. Yeah, I'm helping out the team.
All right. So with tools plus strategist plus normal, that is 6 dice. Your machine interface is what you're doing. So that gets you 8. And then you're spending 2 spark to get you to 10. And that is a good amount of dice. Let me quickly jump over here to see how you roll.
Let's try it.
All right. Good luck. All right. Let's see here. Oh my, this is going to be painful. But it will ultimately be successful. That is 5 evens, 5 pals, but 3 what we call oofs in Hit the Streets. Defend the block. So you spent 2 spark, and now you're going to lose 3 spark.
Do I still succeed if I end up at 0 spark?
You do. You just pay a terrible price. So yes, you succeed at cracking. So you tell me what it looks like. What you take over the system before there's some kind of countermeasures that you did not expect. You do whatever it was that you wanted to do to this security system. If there's a lighting system, you've got control of the grape and grain. So what do you want to unlock before I unveil how it is that you bad stuff happens?
Yeah, I think Glitch is already nervous in a bathroom stall, going after this. She's probably getting like maybe even counter hacked by Captain Shadow or whatever, or he's got something in place. So she's pretty tense. So I think what she's gonna do is try to push an app to Copycat's phone that will let her control the kind of system with camera on off, lights on off, sprinkler system on off, that kind of thing.
Okay.
That's what I'd like to do.
Sweet. So you're in the process of setting up all of this access. You fold it over. I don't know if you just like bounce the access to her, or you create some kind of app on the fly. You're finishing things up, and then the stall door pops open, and that little old lady is standing there with what looks like a freaking cattle prod, and she just jams it into your chest.
Oh, not good.
And like whatever it is that's in your head, like it fires quite a few times before you out, and you're out. And for a moment, it lingers on her, and she picks up the laptop, and then she puts this little thing in her ear, like a little FBI thing. It's got the little squiggly line deal. And she goes, "Yes, sir, Mr. Shadow. Yes, sir, Mr. Shadow." So we cut out to you guys. Copycat, you have control. Glitch was successful. She did this in moments. Just passed over control to you. So you've got control, but I want to, like, you get that, but we're going to pop over to Wraith because Wraith was interested in a few things going on. So what have you been doing in the interim? We'll say just a couple minutes have passed. We still have, that wild card is standing there by the office, kind of listening. Maybe he's trying the door, but you were checking things out. I want to check in with you. What are you doing?
I think it's, we should, if the manager's office is where Tag went, then we should get in there. Do you want to do it again, Copycat, or I can try and slip under the door or something?
Yeah. I think she's like, all right, well, yeah, I got the Twitch cam out for us. Or I got these.
Can you delete the last few minutes of footage? We need to make sure we stay safe.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea. I like your going under the door idea too. That's a pretty good idea. Why don't you go for that while I cut this video?
Well, slipping underneath the door without anyone noticing is just a good feat. So you'll need 3 successes. However, tension is in effect. So if you fail, go badly for you.
Yeah.
I'm going to clear dice and let's build your pool.
Okay. So going under a door is clearly supernatural. So I'll take the 3 for that. Would this be, I don't know, feet for moving under, or?
Sure, absolutely. Feet covers movement, reaction, dodging, dexterity, running, and jumping. So yeah, absolutely. Feet works for me.
And this uses my ghost form, so that'd be 3, 5, 7 dice?
7 dice. And you're looking for 3 successes. Pretty good chance, but do you want to spend any of your 2 spark?
No, because I'm going to take it in damage, I know.
All right, what do we got? Oh, man, that looks like just 1 spark. That's not bad. 1 spark damage. 1, 2, 3, and I said it was good, which means you needed 3 successes. I shared the wrong screen. Oh, well. Whoops.
Yes, 3 successes, just barely.
Just that squeak and not too much pain. So you're down to 1 spark. Oh my goodness, you guys. This is so intense. Sorry, on my drop downs for spark, if you ever select 0, it says 0.
Oh no.
Oh no. Sorry. Tickles me. I take far too much fun in drop downs, guys. It's a sickness. Sweet. So you slide underneath, and it's the intensity of what's happening that I think the stress of the situation has put you on high alert. So what is that smoke like? When you come in, we see our number of certificates on the wall. There's a gentleman in his 50s. It's got kind of a young Robert Redford, not young, but 50-year-old Robert Redford, not super ancient now Robert Redford, but Robert Redford in his 50s kind of look. Pictures of him with different city aldermen and government officials and athletes and stuff, and him with his pictures of his family there. They're all just totally well cut, well groomed, attractive, and it looks, it almost looks like the kind of office that you would see at you've seen those show homes or model homes that are set up for a brand new suburb, right? And this is the home they bring you into to show what it's going to look like. That's what this reminds you of. And the accoutrement and just the layout and everything is very modern, and then there's a lot that's showing off like this guy's accomplishments and the people he knows, and like you see he's there behind a nice sleek modern looking desk, and then there's a TV mounted on the wall, and he's not really paying much attention to it. He's looking at something on his laptop. What do you do when you come in?
Is there anything that has his name that I can see immediately, or like does he have like one of those like placards on his desk?
So yes, we'll say, because why not, right? That's great. So his placard says Mr. Smith.
So since he's right there, I'm gonna just Mr. Smith, tell me what you know of Tag Hanover.
Nice. So it looks like you want to try to control this guy's mind, huh?
Yeah.
I love it. That is terrifying. Now, have you opened the door? I'm just asking because somebody may want to try to help you on this roll.
Yes, I will open the door.
All right. I compliment you on that clever move. Good. So then, in order to control Mr. Smith here, you can scare him with a typical result.
Okay.
But if you want to go for a remarkable result, then he will be terrified enough to spill whatever beans are necessary. And just so Copycat is aware, this guy is not Captain Shadow.
Okay. Let's see. So again, being super, my jaw is 3, and my mind reading and compelling the truth is a power, so that would be 3, 6, 8 again. Okay. Oh wow. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 successes.
Wow, that is pretty fantastic. Yeah, did you have any ones in all that mess?
Not a 1.
Not a 1. I see what you did there. Pretty clever. Cool. So you guys infiltrate this office, and the guy, he looks up from the laptop and he kind of looks around because you're like coming out like you're some kind of shadowy figure, right? So does he fix on you, or are you just this mist that's talking to him?
Let's go with the mist.
Oh, nice. So it's his eyes looking around. He says, "What? What's going on here, Captain Shadow?"
Captain Shadow isn't here to help you. Tell me what you know of Tag.
Listen, I was just following orders. He wanted me to interview this guy, this Hanover guy. What is that smell? I was supposed to bring him in here. I offered him a little bit of money to show up for an interview. The captain spoke with him briefly, and then he left. I know that Captain Shadow called someone. That's all I know.
What did they talk about?
Well, he said, this guy has a gift. It's just like you said. And I didn't know what he was talking about. He was talking on the phone to someone else, a member of the syndicate. I think that they were looking for people who had, powers. But that's really all I know. I mean, we work together. He gave me some seed money. I do things from time to time, but like this is it. This is my place. You know, he's just a backer. He's just an angel fund kind of guy. You know, it's not like I work for him. I just don't want to make him mad.
You just look the other way when he does things like this?
I mean, I just talked to a guy. That's it. Nothing happened here.
I suggest you don't help them anymore.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, you bet. He lies. It's a copycat. While the Wraith is having this terrifying conversation with Mr. Smith, what are you doing?
Yeah, I'm hoping to first of all turn off all these cameras and such, and if possible, erase all that extra stuff.
You got it. No problems. Glitch paid the price for your success, but yes, you do it.
Perfect. And now since they're kind of blind to us, I guess maybe her next plan is to kind of survey this area, see if there's anything else that I guess any kind of clues on what's behind all this or anything.
Cool. So looking around in this office, it looks again kind of staged, but also not bad. Definitely cleaner than the back work areas. It's almost as if this guy just had it recently remodeled kind of deal. And he remodeled everything that was important to him or to the customers. There are a number of folks that are working in the kitchen, talking to each other very quickly in Spanish, working hard. And then there's the door down to the cellar. And then you knew about the kind of storage for the kegs and the wine casks. And then there's, of course, the hallway that has a doorway, and on the other side of that is the public restrooms, and then out into the bar itself.
I think this wine cellar bears investigating.
Yeah, I trust that instinct.
Maybe you should.
Do you want to go down with me?
You don't think you should go, like, pick up Glitch? I mean, shouldn't we reunite before we start wandering into dark cellars?
Hmm.
I mean, I just want to go down there and see if I can find some nice wine, but like, I'm presuming we also have other motives too. But...
Yeah, all right. Why don't you go check on Glitch and I'll go down here. She seemed pretty nervous. She probably needs some company.
Just so you know, you are the master of quick change, whereas Wildcard is the captain of does not fit in this place right now with stinky shoes. So.
Oh, yeah, that's a really good point. All right.
I mean, I can clear the place if that's what we want to do.
No, I'll go check on Glitch. Why don't you stay here? Let's switch. You keep those sandals. Make sure that back up Wraith in case he needs some help.
I can't see what I could add to his absolutely terrifying presence, but okay.
Nice. So we have Copycat walking past. We see the Wraith is like this misty form around the terrified Mr. Smith. You head through the doorway, and you Copycat head through the doorway, walk into the ladies' restroom to see a little old lady, like an extra from the Golden Girls, who is throwing Glitch over her shoulder. And about to walk out, and she just casually like flips her over her shoulder, and Glitch's hands almost drape on the ground. Because this woman's like 4.5 feet tall, and she looks up at you, and she's got the thing where her glasses are so thick that her eyes look really, really big, and she looks at you and she says, "Oh, I'm taking her to the hospital, dearie."
How obvious is it that she's lying, if at all?
I mean, she's a 4.5 foot woman who easily carried 100 pound or so woman over her shoulder like she's a tote bag.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I gotta take her out.
Sweet.
This is okay.
Nice. So you like step inside and close the door.
Yeah, I'll like lock it too.
Oh, and then she just just kind of drops Glitch to the ground. She lands with a thud. Glitch, while you are out of spark, this will wake you up. And so you are currently, you're down. In what that means is you no longer have access to your powers or being super. So you can still do stuff, but you're just basically like you've lost access to the things that made you a superpower being until you're able to refresh and get spark back. Make sense? Now, if you were to take damage one more time, you'd be down and out, and you'd be like gone. But her dropping you on this cold but beautiful tile floor is enough to wake you up. And yeah, this old lady, she pulls out this little cattle prod type thing, and she says, "Oh, honey, this is not a good idea. I suggest you leave."
And I think so. She was locking the bathroom door and turns around. Now she's in her kind of natural blue-skinned appearance, and she's like, "I think we should drop the pretenses here. I think we just it's time to fisticuff this lady."
Nice. So she like taps her hand like with the thing, and you see it spark out a little bit. She just, oh, I know you. Captain Shadow told me all about you, copycat. I must thank you. I wouldn't have this employment opportunity if you hadn't not left him high and dry. And then she's going to advance on you with her cattle prod and her bizarre old lady strength. So she is a significant threat. And so she is well, not necessarily like a big bad, but I am setting a total threat difficulty for defeating this old lady. And so you are going to need a total of an amazing success to take her down. Now, a total threat difficulty works like this. Tension is in effect. You need a total of 6 successes, but until that being or that threat is taken down, you haven't succeeded until you have to kind of build up to the 6 successes. And every time you didn't get that sixth success, it's effectively a failure. So if you get 3 successes on your first go, you didn't get 6. She's now going to take 3 more successes to defeat, but you fail to defeat her in that go, and therefore bad things happen. And then, of course, tension's in effect, which means you could also lose spark. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Cool. So it's a high enough difficulty where it may take a couple passes. So in a comic book, this would be the thing where we have several panels worth of action of back and forth, and we get to see, how awesome you are and also how much of a threat this is in hopes that you win. Or maybe you don't. Maybe you don't.
Makes sense.
Cool. So this is Grandma Gehenna. And Granny Gehenna is an amazing threat. So what does it look like when you start to face off with Grandma Gehenna?
Okay, so maybe if she's got these cattle prods out, I think I'm just borrowing so much from Black Widow, but I think I have these like telescoping baton type of things. She comes to one of those, just snaps those out. I'm just like, if he's hiring you, he's really scraping the bottom of the barrel now. And she, I think there's a lot like flips and like acrobatic type stuff. Maybe maybe it's jumps off the like the mirror kind of thing to launch herself at this lady, the grandmother.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think I'm mostly just using just the training stuff.
Okay, that sounds fantastic to me. Cool. So, I mean, this is a thing that are you being super here because of your special training? Do you feel that's something that takes you to an uber level that makes it super?
Yeah, that's kind of right on the line there.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Don't think you're being a con artist here, right?
No.
Okay.
I even said my own name. Yeah.
Okay.
Or my own face at least. So
And it sounds like you're, punching and grappling and that kind of stuff. So it sounds like hands. Does that feel right?
yeah,
Cool. All right. So 3 + 2 for those. You're definitely highly trained, so that takes you up to a 7. Hey, you've got a ton of spark.
I do. Got to use some of these.
You
Wow.
do. You should use all of them. I mean,
Hmm.
it'll pay off. Totally.
I think I'm gonna go at least 2.
All right. Cool. So was that 9 dice then?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, rock on. Let's see how this goes. Roll your 9 dice. Remember, ones are oofs, and you need 6 total successes.
Oh, that means I can have up to 6.
Why, yes, it does.
Yeah, okay. That's good.
Great, get out.
Well, a good amount, although also some compels, some oofs.
Oh, there's a couple of oofs, but you're gonna be okay. 1, 2, 3. Holy crap! Look at all these evens. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Dang it! What is up with you, copycat? You are too good at this. Oh man. So, what does it look like when you take down? Now she's no longer nearly as terrifying. She's just a poor old lady. When you beat up this poor old lady, oh wait, no, that's not what I mean, because she totally has a cattle prod. I think this is the picture. Although I really like that picture. But this is the picture I think that is Granny Gehenna. See, she's even got her big purse there. Just imagine her with a cattle prod in her hand, and that's our Granny Gehenna. And so, Copycat, walk us through. How is it that you defeat Granny Gehenna?
All right, so yeah, maybe she does do this like that flying kick off the mirror, and
Oh,
hits
that's
her
totally
on the
cool. 'Cause
ground.
like we see like you, and then the reflection of you,
Oh yeah,
and then you got come over. I totally love that comic
it's
panel in my
thematic.
head.
Yeah.
Yes, good stuff.
And then, but when she's on the ground, like getting back up for the next thing, that's when I take these oofs because she just cattle prods me right in the back.
Yeah. That's sweet.
That,
Yeah.
that probably just makes Copycat angry, so she does the like the Street Fighter move, like was that thing that Guile did where he does the the kick into the air, like
Love
the kick.
that
And that just puts her out, just like
move. Sonic boom.
yeah, that's right.
Yes. And I just have to say, my good buddy Jason, he always, whenever he played Guile, when we play Street Fighter, he always called him Gwilly because he just thought that was funny. So anyway, you pull your Guile move, you just don't have the flat top, but everything else you pull it off. And yeah, she falls back. She slams into the very nice looking tile. Pleasantly appointed tile right beside Glitch as she's slowly starting to wake up with a terrible ache in her head from being. And your laptop slams to the ground. You see that the screen is a little broken, Glitch.
I kind of rouse her awake, I guess. Although she was already coming awake, I think. But I'm like, all right, might want to get out of here now.
She picks up her laptop and is very upset about it. She pulls one of the towels off the shelf and says, "I'll take this now, thank you," and gives
Nice.
Granny a nice little kick, and then walks out.
Nice. That is really cool. I love that. Cool. So we've been playing just over an hour. An hour. Let's go ahead and take our first break. It is 11 after. Let's make this 5-minute break, and we'll see you guys in 5. Okay? We'll pick back up in the cellar. So anybody that's watching while everybody's coming back, I'm pretty excited because this today, along with this live stream, there was an interview that went live on the podcast called Diceology, which Matt J. Brown, who's one of our stretch goal authors, he's been running this on for a few months now, and there's a lot of really cool folks who have been on that show. So the fact that I snuck my way on was pretty great. And also the 5 or so questions by Bree Sheldon featured an interview which talks a lot about Hit the Streets, as well as aspects of Spark and Spark usage, and why it's a cool street level supers game. So, other stuff to do on the side, doing my best to get the word out to as many people as possible on the Kickstarter. Welcome back, everybody. So the last thing that we had was Copycat being a martial arts badass and beating up an old lady, but trust me, it was justified. And helping out Glitch, her teammate, and then we had Wildcard deciding to head down to the cellar as the Wraith is finishing up his questioning. Now, Wraith, would you have, how would you end things off with Mr. Smith, the manager here? Because I don't want to have you stuck in stasis of terrifying this guy, because you've kind of gotten all the information from him that you likely will get.
Yeah, once I get everything from him, and I told him to stop helping them, and I'm gonna say tell him that he should probably take an early evening and go home, and try and get him to leave.
Cool. Yeah, he will take your suggestion, head out and hop into that nice little midlife crisis sports car and drive his way home to his loving wife and 2.5 children. Cool. So, Wildcard, in your stinky borrowed shoes, you head down to the cellar. Now, as you're headed to the cellar, you hear outside the sound of sirens, police car sirens, not ambulance, not fire engine sirens, but police car sirens. What would you like to do? Keep going?
And do they seem to be getting louder?
Yes, they do.
I step back up and look for Wraith.
Wraith is just now kind of coming out of the office and formulating back into his corporeal form. I got to use it corporeal in a sentence, my friends.
Wraith, do you hear those sirens?
Yes, obviously.
They seem to be getting louder. You think maybe we should be somewhere else?
I'll ping over to Copycat. Did you shut off all the alarms? Or Glitch? Did you get the alarms?
So, Copycat, you did. You shut everything off. However, you, being a security expert, knowing that Captain Shadow had some kind of hand in this, know that if everything went dead, precautions would also be taken after a certain period.
Yeah, I think she might just radio back. Yeah, I did, but we got some big problems. We gotta finish up what you're doing there because we got to get out of here quick.
That's what I was going to suggest. The getting out of here in a very quick way. Yes.
I was thinking the same thing.
Cool. Well, you guys beat feet out the back entrance and pile back into Glitch's car. So, Glitch, what is it that they notice as you guys are all headed to the car that tells them that something has really gone wrong with you? Something's off.
I think that Glitch is babbling a little bit about what happened, but she's generally pretty keeps to herself unless someone's talking to her. So I think it's weird because she's being way too expressive, chatty.
Nice. No, Wildcard, do you keep those sandals or do you ditch them?
Well, I'm not going to leave them here. But yeah, eventually I'm going to toss them.
Okay, cool. Where do you guys want to go? I mean, getting away from the cops is a thing that I think you can pull off. You have enough warning. You guys are pretty smart, and it just doesn't seem super duper interesting to have a chase by the cops moment unless somebody wants a chase by the cops moment. I think we can just have you guys getting out of there in just enough time to keep from being caught red-handed. Where would you end up? Your abandoned warehouse where you guys often meet up?
That
Yeah,
sounds like
I
a
think
good plan.
back at our home base.
Sweet. Now, the home base, is that the big box? Just remind me, I'm a little, I'd forgotten to.
The abandoned Goodyear factory.
Oh, right. Yes, that is the thing. Thank you very much. I'm going to insert a text box to remind myself of that. So, Shadow, what is it that we see in the old Goodyear factory that reminds us of how important this used to be to the Knuckle back when it was a functioning place of employment?
Was that directed at me?
Did I say Wraith? I thought I said Wraith. I meant to say Wraith.
Okay, I think you said Shadow.
Oh, damn it! I'm sorry. I apologize.
No, it's out front of the place there is a like a large placard, kind of like the metal sign. This is like, thank you from Gauntlet City, 100 years of service, and now it's like all tarnished and like worn down.
Oh God, that's so good. Oh, that's so good. I love it. Yeah, you guys pull in, and the old Goodyear factory. There actually are still a number of tires. There's one area of the factory where someone set a tire fire. Right, so there's this molten slag of old rubberized detritus from that fire, but it was put out, and there's a bunch of water damage from when the fire department had to be called. And but this is your place, guys. Who has set up like a crash space here?
Oh, it's obviously Wildcard. If there's going to be a crash space set up, like he's the one that did it.
Nice. Where is that, and what's it look like?
I think there's a like the offices for the management used to be kind of on the sort of mezzanine level of the factory. And that's kind of where he set things up, because a couple of the air conditioners and ventilation stuff still works for the little mini office space they had set up there. Like the main floor, like it's drafty as heck, and there's almost no way to keep it any kind of reasonable temperature. But those little offices actually work. So there are a couple of like cots that he squeezed in there that he managed to buy at like a local flea market or an equivalent.
Nice.
And he's got like one of those little like mini like plug-in stoves that you can do like a hot plate type of cooking on, and of course like there's a coffee maker in there.
And I feel Copycat sees this and she's just like, oh, Wildcard, I told you can't stay here. It's going to attract too much attention. Just get an apartment, please.
I have an apartment, but sometimes like, you know, it's a long walk, and sometimes I'm working on stuff here, like really important stuff that I don't want to mess up my building.
She just rubs her head. Just like,
And I think Wildcard has also created this little, sort of mini kind of furnace, or maybe like a pot-bellied stovetop thing to actually dispose of various magic materials that he doesn't want to get out. So, like these sandals, for instance, like any like leftover ritual materials that it's just not a good idea to have that stuff laying around.
That makes sense.
So he's gonna be burning those sandals. So this place is gonna smell pretty awful for a little while, but we'll get past that.
Glitch, are you feeling okay? Can you tell us what happened to you, or
Oh yeah, I'm feeling great. I was just working in the bathroom when that old lady came in and cattle prodded me, and I've never been cattle prodded before, but that felt pretty weird. Uh, but yeah, I'm doing fine.
So
I think she's sitting like replacing the screen on her laptop already. She's got spares,
Like in her trunk. Just get like.
Look, seriously, like, I mean, look, getting cattle prodded is no joke. Even if there's consent involved and everybody's comfortable with that, like, it. What?
nothing.
It just. I mean, it can throw off your equilibrium for a couple of days. Like, hey, here, like, let me brew up some coffee. Like, you need to kind of like settle yourself and maybe get some rest. I got a couple of crash cots over there in the office.
Okay. Can it be just 100% coffee this time?
Well, I mean, if you want to be boring, sure. I've got just regular like Folgers.
Okay.
Like I don't have like the grinding equipment here. Like we'll have to go to like a real coffee shop for that. But I've got like the freeze dried stuff.
Yeah, I mean, now that you mention it, I do feel a little bit off, but I mean, everything seems to be working. But I know our bodies run on electricity just like my tools do. So maybe something's off.
Well, try this. How about so it's just sort of sit down and sort of take just a series of like deep breaths through your mouth. You don't want to smell what's going on with the furnace. Just through your mouth, not through your nose, not through your nose. Yeah. Just find your center, and just and you take a here's your coffee. I made it decaf because you do need to rest. Okay. But and if you can, just take a couple of these. This is just some medicine to kind of help you rest and get you settled. And this is Wildcard's version of comfort and support. Like,
Yep. So we do not have a comfort and support move. However, we do have bonding scenes, and this is one of the ways that you can restore spark. So in order to complete a bonding scene, you have to be with other team members, and that's where your friendship or your shared purpose grows stronger. And if it's a really short scene, then it may be a couple of spark for each player, characters, or superpower being that's involved. For more deep heart-to-heart talks, that it could be a little bit more. Where we're at right now, it looks like Wildcard and Glitch had a nice scene. So I could see 3 spark back to each of you guys. But also, we can hold that scene open for a little bit in case Shadow and Copycat would like to have a little conversation between themselves.
well, I think we got. I mean, everybody's kind of there. So I mean, if everybody kind of wants to like participate in that and throw their 2 cents in, or encourage Glitch not to actually take the pills, I mean, that would probably be wise ultimately. But they're good for you. It helps your mind deal with and process strange occurrences.
What kind of pills are those?
Well, they were aspirin.
They were. What do you mean were?
They start out as aspirin. If you want things to do more than just dull your pain or dull your senses, if you want them to actually help, really help, then you have to do some extra things. I mean, you've got to let's say if you want your coffee to taste like caramel, you have to add caramel, right? If you want your coffee to have sort of a creamier taste to it, you got to add creamer, right? So it's the same kind of effect. Like there's a few extra things into the mix to kind of help things work. Just it kind of help settle your nerves. Like we don't want to just dull pain, although there's going to be some pain from cattle prodding. I mean, like I said, that your muscles tighten up, everything seizes a little bit, and it leaves you with a little bit shaken, a little bit stirred up. Some people like that, but not everybody. And so if it's not something you were into, then this can help sort of settle your nerves after that kind of experience.
Taking what Wildcard just said in mind, Glitch, you said you wanted a cleaner experience. I would probably recommend not taking them, but you can do as you wish.
I think Wildcard's looking out for my best interests here. The coffee, the pills, this could help. I think I'll go with the whole treatment.
I think to put Copycat in here too, maybe she's just had her, her arms crossed, like with her back to this whole conversation going on. Then with that, she kind of turns around and she's like, it's my fault that you got in this mess. And anyway, I shouldn't have sent you off alone. I know it's not your strong suit, and I really apologize, Glitch. That's on me. I really hope you get back to full percent or whatever it is you do.
Well, hey, look, I mean, you don't. There's no blame to go around here. I mean, that was pretty weird shit. I mean, based on what you said, you got attacked by like a super strong old lady with a cattle prod. I mean, do you go into places expecting that? I mean, I don't generally do that. The people who come at me with cattle prods generally aren't old ladies and aren't dressed like bathroom attendants. But that's me. Now, but look, weird stuff happens to us. I mean, sometimes it's weirder than we expect, and we just have to roll with those punches sometimes. Throwing blame around doesn't help. Just consider it a learning experience that involved a cattle prod and involved like kicking the snot out of some old lady in a bathroom.
I think Copycat's just gonna double down. She just like just turns away and just like, well, that learning experience got Glitch majorly hurt. Next learning experience might get one of us killed. I've got to be better. We've all got to be better.
Well, we will be, but if we like work ourselves up into a frenzy, we're just going to be like jumping at shadows all the time, and we don't want to do that because we can't do our jobs with that.
And we have to look at what we did well as well. Glitch was able to disable the security camera. We were able to get information. Wildcard's spell was able to find us to where Tag was, so we made progress.
I think what we're all trying to say here is that I didn't want to get cattle prodded. I mean, that's a downside, but
yes,
we did. We're a team, and we're working well together as a team. And sometimes we're all going to have to take one for the team.
Well, the Shadow or the Whisper Syndicate's out there too, and they're also a team. We got to think about that too. Seems like they're all mixed up in this, and they've been doing this longer than we have.
Is that how they normally recruit? Is that do you think they were trying to recruit Tag or just get him for this whatever the heck they were doing? Make him into a walking bomb, essentially.
Well, this would be a new strategy, none that I've ever heard, but it seems like Captain Shadow was definitely behind it, based on what we had heard.
Now, it's Captain Shadow working with the syndicate now. Like, is that his deal now?
Yeah, he was. I think he's been around, or he's been involved with them almost since the beginning.
I'm going to ask a quick question here just to clarify. Copycat, did they know that you were part of the Whisper Syndicate?
Oh, that's interesting. Okay, no, they don't. That's way more.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Give that dramatic irony. Yeah, perfect. She's like, yeah, based on my intel, he's been there since the beginning.
And we'll completely buy that as intel because, like, you're our super secret martial arts agent person. So, okay. So, well, I mean, look, if there's going to be cattle prodding involved next time, somebody let me know because, like, you know, that's more my department, really. I think. I mean, unless you guys have some proclivities I don't know about.
I definitely don't, and I've got lots of sensitive equipment, so I would prefer to stay away from electricity in the future.
All right, so we've settled on, next time I get the cattle prod. I think we can all agree on that. Yes. Mm-hmm. I'll be ready. So,
how about we all try to avoid the cattle prod?
To each their own. Sure.
Sure. Yes.
All right. That was great. And you guys really elevated that scene from the base level. So I am going to award four spark to each of you, to Glitch, to Copycat, to Wildcard, and also to Wraith. All of you give 4 spark. That pulls Glitch from the oh no of 0, and it gets everybody else where you have a good bit. Now, as you're having all of this conversation, Copycat, you get a text message from an unknown number, and it says, we need to meet. And then it's a couple dashes, and then CS for Captain Shadow. What do you do?
Yeah, let's see. What would she do? I think she might say, oh, is no one going to get hurt this time? Or how can you promise me no one will get hurt this time? I guess referencing this bathroom incident that just happened.
Nice. The text back would say simply, come alone. No one will get hurt. CS.
And, yeah, I think she might, how would I put this? Kind of like a, I don't know, I'm trying to get across like, oh, just based on professional respect or something, I owe it to you. Maybe just that. Yeah, that's fine. I was trying to think of a cooler way to say that. That works out.
Okay. So are you agreeing to it? I had a little bit of trouble hearing you.
Oh yeah. I think she just says she will, just based on the professional respect.
Nice. So then CS texts back to you. See, I think, meet at the municipal building at like 6 a.m.
All right. She's like, all right, then just you and I guess we have a lot to discuss.
See you then.
Yeah.
Cool. Now, there's a lot that's happened. I want to make sure that what I was trying to communicate is clear to you guys as players. What Mr. Smith divulged is that it appeared Captain Shadow, who is a angel fund investor for the Grape and Grain, had Tag over and was speaking to someone about, he has the potential. And Mr. Smith believes that they were trying to find other superpower beings, people with powers. And then you guys know from the timeline of Tag, as soon as Tag, after this meeting, he went back to his apartment, his credit studio apartment, and then Pusher showed up. And then moments after Pusher showed up and left, he became the Human Hurricane and started trashing Cranston Commons Park. Also, Captain Shadow evidently has people who are around the Grape and Grain, such as Grandma or Granny Gehenna, because she beat the crap out of Glitch. So, just want to make sure that summary was clear to you guys as players. and then we will pick back up. So yeah, you see Copycat walks away from you guys after your moments of reinforcing Glitch and giving her some weird aspirin, and Copycat gets involved with a little bit of a text messaging thing, but she's a super spy. That's what she does. She's in, things. Glitch, though, you could totally eavesdrop on that text message conversation if you want to, because they've given you your spark back. That's a thing you could do if you wanted to. You don't have to, but I mean, you could.
I thought about it, but I think she's too off in her own world right now.
Makes sense. Okay. Cool. All right. Well, is there anything you guys wanted to do this evening? Otherwise, I'm going to cut to daytime activities, which is things where you have to do your day-to-day obligations.
I did want to call Officer McGillicuddy and warn him that someone might be coming back for tag, but we don't need to do a scene or anything necessarily. I just thought that.
Yeah, let's say because it's so late, you end up leaving a voicemail at his office.
Yeah,
and you know that he'll get that in the morning and be careful.
Sweet.
All right, so we'll do a little bit of that, clock spinning around, night goes, sun starts to rise, and I know that we have a meeting with Copycat and Captain Shadow, which maybe I shouldn't have gone with Shadow because I keep accidentally calling Wraith Shadow. I think I screwed myself up pretty bad there. So I probably could have gone with some other captain thing, but I thought it would be neat to have a Wraith Shadow thing, but then my mouth keeps screwing that up, and I apologize. It is never intentional. It is not some kind of joke I'm making. I'm literally making a mistake every single freaking time that I do it, so I apologize. So we know we already have this set up meeting. I'm curious, though, Copycat, are you going by the letter or the expectation? You're actually showing up all by yourself, not telling your teammates about this thing?
I think so, but she's definitely going to get there an hour or more early to scope everything out.
Ooh, so you're tired. Maybe you've only had 3 hours sleep tops, if any. You set up at the municipal building. I mean, the municipal building is on Main Street, so it has a decent amount of traffic, although it's 5 in the morning when you do this, so it's still pretty dead. I mean, the Knuckle it's a downtown neighborhood, but yeah, even that early in the morning, there are some people that are going out to get on the bus, to head to work, but not a lot of traffic around the municipal building itself, so you're able to set up a pretty good perch. Do you have, I'm just kind of curious, does Copycat set up some kind of remote viewing, or to just scope the place out to have a really good idea of where the best place to meet is, to where nobody has any sight lines on you, to where they can snipe you? Or what are you in particular looking for? How does she do her thing?
Yeah, all that sounds good. Maybe the most public or safest area for her.
Okay, cool. So the municipal building is also right beside the police department and the jail, so it's a pretty secure place. But the place that you're meeting CS is at a bench, so it's out of earshot from people as they're going in for their morning work at the municipal building, and you don't have to wait long before a person who looks like he's probably in his late 50s. I'm imagining he's played by Ron Perlman, because I like stunt casting and I like Ron Perlman. I mean, anybody can pull off Hellboy, as well as the president of the Sons of Anarchy chapter. He's good enough for me. So Ron Perlman shows up. He's 6 feet tall. He's muscular. He's older. He's got kind of a longer face and gray hair. It's fading towards white, and he's definitely has that confident look. He comes and looks around, and then he'll sit on the bench near you.
And maybe she'll look like whatever her normal thing to look at or look like back in the old days when they were in the same organization together. And I think I named this organization, although I'm still figuring out the acronym, but I think it's the Project Apex.
Oh, I like that. I like that. Allie, I'm sorry that one of my associates fought with you last night. If I had known you had interest in a particular item, we could have had a conversation about it.
Well, and she kind of sits down next to him, I suppose, and just let him. Well, the time for conversation seemed a little past once your geriatric agent put down one of my teammates.
Teammates? Interesting. Interesting. Why were you and your teammate at the Grape and Grain?
Well, there was a disturbance earlier that we were trying to get to the bottom of. I don't know if you were around Cranston Commons Park, but it's quite an event.
I agree. These super-powered beings are a real threat to the Knuckle, right? Somebody like that attacking people unprovoked, real problem. Somebody should do something about that. I've heard that there may be a movement, perhaps some new legislation, a registration perhaps of people who have supernatural powers.
Yeah, wow. Interesting there. I bet that'd be a lot easier to pass if something like that had happened. Maybe some fatalities or something. Good thing we got there early.
It is. Very fortunate. It doesn't mean that there isn't a threat, but it is great that you and your team. I have to say I'm hurt, Allie. We used to be a team. We used to work on this. You know what a threat they are. They have to be stopped. What we're doing is the right thing. Making the streets safe. Now, save some people in the short term. My plans are long term. The Knuckle, it's got a bad rap. Make the streets safer, businesses come back, overall people are going to be happier. You know?
Yeah, well, seems like people aren't doing that bad right now, especially with people like us helping out.
Maybe. Allie, how are things going for you and your team? You know, the Whisper Syndicate, we have a significant amount of funding. What do you think about me sliding a little bit of money your way for you to take a vacation from this team?
I think we're doing just fine. I put, as you know, a lot of effort into making sure I don't have to follow orders anymore. So I'm just gonna think we're all good answering to ourselves.
He like reaches into his satin jacket. He's got like one of those like older satin jackets. It's got patches and stuff on. He pulls out and he's got like this envelope of money and he offers it to you. Like it's got hundreds. You can see it's like lots and lots of hundreds of dollar bills. And he kind of half hands it to you. What do? Come on, Allie. I can tell you need the money. This is easy. Take a week off. We'll be done in a week. Then you and your team can deal whatever you want. You'll be fine. You don't have any superpowers, right? I promise I'll keep you off the list.
Oh, so there's lists now?
Registration list. People with powers. Get registered. They're watched, observed, make sure they don't cause problems. Especially that weird witch doctor guy. Is he on your team?
I wish I could help you. I don't know who you're talking about.
Scruffy one. Got her eye on him. If he's on your team, you should probably tell him to lay low. Maybe he should just leave the knuckle altogether. He's a problem. He's a problem.
Well, this has been a great chat. Is there anything else you needed?
He sighs and he takes his envelope of money, slides it back into his jacket pocket. I really wish we could have come to better arrangement, Allie. I'd like to work with you again. I felt like we had a real connection.
Well, you were always so good at following orders.
He gets up and he shoves his hands into his pockets and heads off. That'll bring an end to that scene.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So we are going to jump. I definitely want a scene a second time around. I'd like to see a scene of Glitch doing her normal, like what the thing she does with her little VC kind of .com-y type section. And then I also want to understand what Card does from a day-to-day basis. You know, the scruffy nerf herder that we all love and don't want our shoes near. So who would like to go first? Oh, we'll call on someone.
I'll take it if nobody else is ready. Wildcard's actual supposed job is freelance copywriter, so he does like little ad blurbs and things like that, sort of contract work, and he's okay at that because he's good at spinning things. But his day-to-day cash spending money comes from him selling these little charms and things like that to folks around the neighborhood for various purposes. So he sort of runs his own little magical flea market type of thing to sell little needy things like, oh well, here you live in a rundown tenement, well here's a little charm to keep the bugs out of your food, that sort of thing.
And is that a thing he does out of his apartment, or is it literally in some larger flea market thing that's going on?
I don't think he runs it out of his apartment. I think he I think he's probably just he runs it through maybe a web app or something, or web, like a little web store, one of those little like an Etsy type of
Nice.
type of web store. And he will certainly give the team discounts. But he likes, if you want it, he arranges to meet and just pass it hand to hand, because he doesn't mail that stuff. You can't mail talismans. That's crazy.
That sounds bad. Yeah.
So he just arranges it. He only sells to folks in the neighborhood. It's a neighborhood thing.
Cool. Yeah. So I think I'm curious. So I'm imagining that people come to him for little talismans. How do you handle love potions? Some guy comes to you hey man, I need a love potion. I heard you can do that kind of stuff.
He does not like to do those. He tried those at one point, because when you're young and you think, oh well, sure, people just want to be together and happy. It's no, it's never that. It's never that. If somebody wants a love potion, that's never what it's about. It's never a love potion. There's no love involved.
Nice.
So
Nice.
He's had that blow up in his face, and he's never doing that again.
Rock on. Cool. I wanted to head that off at the pass. Good. So I was trying to think. I would imagine that some of the immigrant population in the Knuckle are probably more apt to utilize your services. They're a little more open to it, a little less worried about the oddities of what you do.
And he does little folk remedies and things like that. Nothing that would counter, he doesn't recommend people substitute his stuff for medicine, but medicine sometimes is expensive. and his stuff is, not so expensive. So if you got a bad cough, maybe he can give you something that helps the cough, but it's not going to like cure anything. Like it's like this will help the cough, but save up your money because you're going to probably need to actually go to the doctor and get some long-term medication, that sort of thing.
Cool. So I think there's a slightly older woman by the name of Ivana who is a pretty routine customer. She's always coming to get medicine for her like grandkids and her great nieces and it's got a pretty big extended family, and so she comes around to your setup. I don't think she used the app, so it's a little much for me. I hope you don't understand. Hope you don't mind. I don't, Mr. Callis. It's a little much for me. She always explains. She wears a kerchief and a shawl. She's like always a little overdressed. And she says, I was wondering, do you have anything, do you have anything for pain? There's one of my great granddaughters. She's not feeling very well. I wanted to see if you could make something to take a little bit of the edge off of the pain. Is that something you can do, Mr. Kellis?
I can come up with something that can help with the pain, but it's only going to, the stuff I can do isn't going to necessarily fix anything. It would just like help her feel better. And sometimes it's better to try and approach the actual problem if you can, rather than sort of just treat the symptoms. Are you sure
I agree.
Are you sure that's the direction your great granddaughter wants to go in? Like,
oh, her mother is working on, but they don't want to go to the emergency room again. It is so very expensive. She's working on it, but something for the pain right now until it passes. That would be good. And does she barter with you, or does she actually pay a little bit of cash?
I think it's probably a little bit of both. Like if she has cash, like she might try to do that, but most of the time she's gonna like, oh well, here's some.
She's got like a casserole dish kind of thing going on.
It's there's a lot of, he does a lot of that kind of business, and it's especially good because he can't cook. He's terrible at actual cooking to eat things. Like he can brew magical potions and like all sorts of stuff like that, but actually cooking things you'd want to eat isn't entirely different. The last time he tried to actually cook, it ended up with something horrible going wrong and his entire apartment smelling like burnt cinnamon for several months. So he doesn't do that anymore.
So yeah, she kind of pushes aside up to you with like a nice big casserole dish, and then she has a couple of $20 bills, and she tries to pay you for some.
The casserole is fine. If it would help me if I could maybe talk to your great granddaughter's mother and kind of understand what her situation is, so I know what kind of pain I'm going to be dealing with.
Ooh, if you want to convince her to divulge this information, that's going to be, tension isn't in effect, but you're going to need a good success to have her lower her defenses. You can tell she's already talking in code about this whole thing, and
I think Jamie's going to try and jaw with her a little bit. He's going to work this.
Okay, absolutely.
Okay, so I'm thinking this is him being normal.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that starts out with a 1. He's got a jaw of 3, so that gets him to a 4. And for a good success, I'd have to roll 3 of those. Whew. Let's see. Let me. I will spend 1 spark on that to get me
All right.
5 dice to try and make those 3 out of. So
Let's see how it goes. And if I can remember to click on the right button. I know it's this one, but then I got to switch over. Tabs. There we go. All right. Need 3 successes. Again, tension is not in effect. Oof.
Oh,
So close.
So close. Just two.
Just the 2, she says. Oh, I will talk to my granddaughter and I will tell her to come see you. Yes? Okay.
You can do
And
that.
then-
If she would like to come see me during my hours out at the coffee shop, if she's more comfortable with that, we can meet there. I'm usually over at the coffee shop, first thing in the morning, and then last thing in the evening. And
Yes, Daily Fuel. Yes, I will tell my granddaughter to come to the Daily Fuel, she assures you. You have the feeling that, no, this is like pushing a little hard, that maybe there's something that she's hiding for the sake of her great-granddaughter. And then she'll leave the casserole. As insurance, yes? But she takes the money because you kind of refuse the money and she doesn't foist it on you, and then she'll leave. So let's jump to second time around. So give us an idea here. I am curious, Harry Lamont, the Wraith. Tell us about second time around. What kind of clientele come here? What are the main things that you carry at this particular store?
The second time around, he tried to start it as like a high-end antique store, so he had a few like really nice pieces, but after being in the area for a while, it was very clear that that wasn't the kind of things that they need. So he still has a couple like really nice pieces, but the majority of stuff is just like anything people bring in. Like there's the tube TVs. He is like, there's a case of old records that are lining the middle of the shop. Basically a lot of like furniture that's been refurbished to go out. So it's kind of just, anything that somebody might be able to use, he tries to have somewhere in there.
All right. And as you mentioned, this is a store where it's mostly frequented by people, neighbors from the Knuckle. Is it well known enough where people come from other parts of New Gauntlet City to visit here? Like, how busy is this place?
I would say not too busy. It's mostly locals, but every once in a while, some of those nicer pieces that he has, somebody will come from out of town for.
And again, is it normally busy? Like, you think you have 5 or 6 people in the store most any given time, more or less?
Less. Like each day probably sees about like a dozen people.
Oof, okay. Wow. Crime pays, but man, what do you do? Do you buy a lot of stuff?
Yeah. Like he'll buy things from people, refurbish them, and then resell them.
Okay.
And eBay sales.
There we go. Awesome. That you unlocked it for me. I like it. And then last question before we spin up into something. Is this a very well laid out and organized kind of shop, or is it kind of ramshackle? Wow, I can't believe this is by this type of deal.
Generally more ramshackle, as you can very clearly see, like, here's the original layout, and then here is everything that he's added on as things have come in. And like this piece was originally an end table that he was trying to sell, but now it's supporting this table full of things that are also for sale. So
nice. So it's late morning. You had a late night. So it's that moment where you've had coffee and that woke you up for the morning, and it's you're starting to brew the second pot to get that second charge before lunch, and the door opens up, and a slightly nervous guy in his maybe late teens, early 20s. You're old enough now to where it's hard to tell the difference anymore. He comes in, he kind of glances over his shoulder, looks around as he's headed towards the counter where you are. And he says, "Hey, you buy stuff, right?"
Yes. If you have something nice, yes. What are you trying to sell?
Yeah, so like my girlfriend broke up with me and like gave me back the ring. So like, I need some money. And won't take it back at the store. That he reaches and he slides and he puts a really nice wedding ring on the counter. So what do you give me for it?
I'll kind of look it over, like see if it's. First, I'll check if it's real.
It is not cubic zirconiums.
Okay.
It is a nice wedding ring. It probably costs about $4,500, $5,500.
And wow.
This guy does not dress like he could afford a $4,500 to $5,500.
Yeah, so it's like well, I might be able to buy this, but a piece like this, I would probably have to go and have the history of it checked out and make sure it's a valid piece, because these really expensive diamonds, they have a barcode hidden inside of them, so they know where it came from. So it's gonna take me a couple days to, but I could probably offer somewhere in the.
You start to reach for it. No, man. No, it's fine. I'll sell it somewhere else. He's going to try to grab it back away from you. What do you do?
I'll just kind of back away from him. So, is there something wrong? Is there, if you need to sell this, I fully understand. I can get that done for you.
No, man. No. You give me money for it right now. Just give me money for it right now. You don't have to pull that shit.
I could, but I don't think I would be helping you out the best if I did. Where'd the ring come from?
Then he reaches into his jacket and he pulls out like a little revolver, like a little snub-nosed revolver, and he shoves it in your face. He goes, "You messing around, man. Just give me your money. Just give me your money. In the cash register right now."
I want to help you out, but this isn't going to help either of us out. Tell me what's wrong, and maybe I can do something for you. You're not going to pull the trigger.
Oh, snap. You are facing him down and being bold. Tension is in effect here, right? Because he does have a gun. Now, as you're looking at it, you actually see that one of the chambers is empty, but one of them does appear to have a bullet. So you're facing this guy down. You're trying to talk him down. Is that right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Awesome. So it sounds like this is a thing a normal person would, slightly crazy, but brave normal person would do. You're definitely using jaw.
Mm-hmm.
Are you trying to mix in any powers here?
Yeah, at this point with a gun, yeah, he would try to like kind of be pulling it out of him, and maybe even like start a little bit of the him feeling a little bit of fear.
Nice. Okay, cool. So I'm going to say that it's going to take a good success, a good level of success. You need 3 successes to pull this off. Tension is in effect.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna clear the dice. Okay. So 1 for being normal.
Yep.
3 for my jaw. And 2 for the power, right?
That's it.
All right.
Look for 3 successes.
4 successes, but
No.
1 oof.
So, do you think the 1 spark loss, you're successful? Do you think it's just the tension of the situation, or do you think that the gun actually goes off before you are able to talk him down, disarm him? What do you think? What does that look like?
I think initially it's just going to be the tension for right now, because it's just a very high, and he's trying to, obviously not give away his Wraith personality, so he has to like try and keep very fine control.
It's also, I kind of see like the thought balloon thing of must keep my Wraith abilities secret from this man. It can't get out. I love it. That is really cool. In the background, as you guys are talking and you're using your powers on him, there's like a local TV station report on the incident at the park last night, and we've got a city or an alderman for the Knuckle is talking about, well, we've got a lot of problems with all these superpowered beings here. We really need to keep our people safe. Meanwhile, you're talking down this young thug, and he's like, I just need some money, man. Just
for
like
what?
He breaks because you are successful in your role. And he says, listen, man, I just they got my sister, and they said if I could give them like $2,000, they would let her go. So just like,
tell me who has her. I could, I can find somebody that can help you.
he's a pusher, man. He calls himself the pusher.
This is
Just got my sister at the train station, man. I don't know what to do. Just
so I'm gonna pop the drawer and I'm gonna give him $500 and say, see if this will keep him, and I will find somebody to help you with your sister.
He gave me that ring, man. Just keep the ring. I don't know who he took it off of. He grabs somebody and he takes off. Did he leave the gun? It's up to you. You were successful. Did you take the gun away from him?
Yeah.
All right.
Just kind of like to talk him down and just
sit
it on the table.
Yeah, totally. Set it on the table. You can see the serial numbers are literally filed off, but he's got his fingerprints all over it. If this weapon is used for anything, his guy's up the creek without a paddle.
Yep.
Cool. We're good. Good to cut away from you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Sweet. So, Glitch. If I remember correctly, we've got this cool kind of .com-y type setup that you're working at. What's it look like when you go to work? What's the vibe here? Got a regular 9-to-5 job, right? Kind of. I mean, it's with a startup, so there's always that weird little bootstrap stuff going on.
Yeah, but I think it's one of those where they've taken like a small building downtown and gutted it and added, like nothing but fully glass paneled conference rooms, and everybody has sit stand desks. It's a big open floor plan, that kind of thing.
Nice. One of those where the desk is normal, but you can like put a little button and it starts like it becomes a little standy desk for you. Yeah, totally dig it. Love it.
So it's you can tell they spent too much money on like the look and feel, but hey, she's got a job, so
Cool. And then what's the general like employee makeup? Is this a thing where there's like 10 employees for the company, or is it 30, 40?
I think there's, if you don't count like I would say it's small, like probably 10 people total sounds good to me. Um, Receptionist, the two owners, um, they're probably brothers or brother sister, and then the rest of the actual employees.
I like brother sister. And then where did we place that?
I don't think we have yet.
We should. Let's go to the map. Dun, dun, dun. All right. Where do you think this cool little thing is? So I'm imagining Main Street is like the largest thoroughfare in the Knuckle. Lafayette Boulevard's the sleek little thing. I actually imagine there might be something like, I just used the Murdoch train station is where the pusher is, but that might be a place where it's a very large building, and maybe they set up a little like incubator, small business incubator thing, which might not be appropriate for what you've got. I'm imagining they kind of moved into a building that they could do a lot of work with. Maybe it's not far from the beer garden, somewhere around here. Where do you think it should be?
Yeah, I think it's between the train station and the second time around, or Daily Fuel over in there.
Oh, neat, neat.
Yeah, there's probably a lot of kind of either rundown or abandoned, like 2 or 3 story buildings where there's like shop front on the bottom and then living space above, kind of thing.
Cool. I just dropped this in here. Once you move it where you like it, I'll get off of that. Do you need the link?
I've got the link. It's not
Okay.
I can click on stuff, but I can't move stuff.
Weird. Okay. All right. Well, I can just stick that in for you, no problem.
Yeah, just right below second time around, but kind of on the way toward the train station.
Oh, like past Daily Fuel, like between Boyson Road and the train station?
Yeah.
All right. Awesome. So we just have it there. See, and maybe the brother and sister, they were one of the little incubator type businesses here until they got some funding, and now they've set up this really too much money spent on nice posh glass.
Yeah. The plan was to revitalize this whole area, but we're not sure if it's going to happen or not.
Nice. I love it. So you come into work, and what's your day to day? Like, you're the IT security person, right? How much work do you have? How much are you busy versus waiting for new orders to be thrown your way?
I imagine she's not very busy. I think there's a lot of like asking for stuff or maybe helping out with other projects, because she's pretty much got everything on lockdown, uh, especially in a small town like this. Maybe she's doing some side projects,
Glitch stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So you're there. Do you have your own office, or is this like open seating kind of?
I think she's out in the middle. Yeah.
All right. Awesome. So Shanita walks over. Shanita's one of the, like, she was an intern, and they've just kind of sort of hired her, but it's not like she doesn't have full benefits yet. She's got like partial benefits, this weird kind of part-time deal that the brother and sister team have worked out where they can bring people on board, but they're kind of freelancers. Anyway, Shanita comes up and she says, "Oh, hey, do you have a minute, Barbara?"
Yeah, sure.
Cool. So she like slides around where she's standing near you, but not like looking over your shoulder at your, I imagine, like 2 or 3 monitors or whatever. And she's like, "Hey, I just want to let you know that we're not the company. This is totally like a not a business thing, and it's completely 100% optional. But there were a number of us who were going to a thing after work. There's this like group of people in the neighborhood who are getting together to talk about the problems that we're having with people with powers and stuff. Like it's not like, it's not like the big parts of the city. Like, it's not really safe here. So I just want to let you know about it. And she like unfolds a little flyer, kind of slides it over.
Is this like an official thing?
Oh no. They don't know. And she kind of gestures towards the two offices that exist, the brother and sister's office, which are exactly the same size. And one supposedly has a better view, but that's debatable. No. It's just a few of us and a few girls who are just a little worried about things, and so we're going to check this out. Supposedly the alderman's going to speak, Mr. Tompkins. He's a real good speaker,
Oh, okay. Who's going?
Oh, and she lists off like the receptionist and a couple of the other coworkers, and then she says, "Oh yeah, and then some of the people from back at the train station, a few of the," and she lists out like Samir and Mohammed and a few others. It sounds like she names off like 10, 15 people that are going to this thing tonight. Would you want to come? We might be going out afterwards for drinks and stuff.
Yeah, I'm not really familiar with the topic, but it sounds interesting. I like to be involved in the local affairs. I think it's important.
Well, great. It starts at 7. And I've heard they're going to have like coffee and donuts. They usually have that kind of stuff, I think. But anyway, it's at the it's just outside the beer garden, and so yeah, we'll see you there. I wish it were like right after work, right? But like anyway, so yeah. Well, thanks a lot, Barbara.
Thanks for thinking of me. I appreciate it.
Cool. So, anything else that you would like to do?
I don't think so. I think that's a good plan. I think that Glitch is just kind of excited that someone invited her to something. So
Cool. All right. So I'm going to do a quick check-in. We've got about half an hour total left. Do we want to have a group meets back up scene? Are there any particular scenes you guys want to get in before, as we start to kind of head towards final scenes before we wrap up for the session?
It can hold till next week, but obviously I want to let everyone know about the girl being held by Pusher at the train station.
We should totally do that, right? That's a thing that should be happening. So do we just pick up with, we cut back to you and you're reaching out over Glitch's little communicator to notify everybody that's what's going on?
Sure. Yeah. I have some information on Pusher. He's holed up at the train station. He's holding a girl hostage. I need as much help as I can get it as quickly as possible.
I'm right across the street at the Daily Fuel. So, yeah, we're. When do you want to meet up?
Are we still in the morning or?
We'll say it's like afternoon. That way, all the other scenes have transpired, and this can.
Yeah. Okay. Just I guess as soon as we reach sunset.
Have to wait for your powers to be full effect. During the sun, I am nothing.
Just not spooky enough during the afternoon.
Summertime is terrible for Wraith. Like he has to wait until almost like 9:30 to be able to actually be really scary.
Yeah, and I learned some troubling news too. I should talk about next we meet up.
Cool.
And-
Do we
and,
want to skip to the Goodyear factory, which happens to be right by the train station?
Sure. And on the horn, like Walker mentions, yeah, and Vanna's great granddaughter is having some serious issues, so that's something I might need help with sorting out at some point. Not nearly as emergency as this stuff. Like,
Yeah, and I've got a thing I'm supposed to go to, so if we could like go fast, that'd be cool.
a thing?
Yeah, I got invited to this really cool. There's like going to be a talk. The local alderman, can't remember his name, is going to talk about how superheroes, could be a threat and that kind of stuff.
Oh, we should go to that too.
You want to come too?
Yes, if we can.
Oh, I think it's open to the public. That'd be great. We could all go together.
But I think saving the girl is the higher priority at the moment.
I agree.
Before we make dinner plans.
Don't get me wrong. It's just an if we make it kind of thing.
You Glitch, you do know we're superheroes, right?
Well, I mean, kind of.
We're super and we do heroic things. Sometimes. I mean, you guys do a lot, but I mean, me sometimes, but you guys fairly often.
I try to fly under the radar most of the time. Plus,
You can fly?
no. I try to stay like incognito.
That's usually a good plan.
Yeah. Yeah, there's even more reason to go to the meeting.
I think Copycat's like, again, I gotta tell you, we should limit chatter on this line. Can we just meet up?
Sure.
As if she's probably told everybody like dozens of times. I imagine there's been many times where she's like, hey, like, there's this really good show on. This is like just like watching the show. Or
it's way too tempting to just say, hey, what are you doing?
Nice. So you guys meet up at the Goodyear factory. You wait until sundown. Unfortunately, the sun goes down at like 6:30, 6:45. It's going to make you late, Glitch. You're not going to be able to make it to this gathering that all your coworkers want to go to. They're going to go without you, leave you behind. I mean, this is a tough choice. You sure you could go? It's tough.
No, I can't. I mean, this is too important.
Okay, rock on. So you head to the Murdoch train station. As I kind of laid out, the bottom floor has been broken up into these smaller areas that are like incubators for small businesses. There's a full quarter to almost a half of it that are set up for areas to eat different kind of really interesting culinary ideas, fusion, that kind of stuff. The kind of stuff it's like a food truck, except they just like stay there. And then the other half to 60% of it are small little offices that are set up, just kind of pop-up businesses for people that do consulting work or trying to bootstrap up some kind of small business, and there's even a guy who does a little bit of a fix-it shop. Maybe it'd be a competitor to you, Mr. Lamont, so down the road, but he's nowhere near there yet. And up the upstairs of the second floor is supposed to be a lot of storage, and that is probably where he's being kept, because as you guys kind of come in, I imagine you'd just do a little bit of a scope it out type deal. You're not able to find the pusher there. You guys would recognize him on sight because you've got footage of him, and you also know he's a member of the syndicate, and he doesn't go out of his way to hide what he looks like. And I also have a picture in our little character keeper. So what do you want to do?
Glitch, can you see if there's any cameras in this place, or maybe you can find where we need to go?
This place is too old for that, but I did bring something. She pulls out like a little little like cat-looking drone and gently sets it on the ground. We can send this around. It'll scout it out for us, and you know, I've got audio and video, eyes and ears right here.
Are you sure that's okay?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Then go for it.
All right. So tension is not in effect, but trying to locate. So I will tell you this. It's a typical role for this little cat drone to zip around the entirety of Murdoch train station and find Pusher. However, it is remarkable for this thing to do it without being noticed by the Pusher or anyone else. So you build your die roll as you wish.
All right. So I think I am. I think I am being super in this case because I'm imagining this is like something that the AI is given a little extra juice to make it more lifelike and to be just better than like a
Okay.
remote control drone kind of thing. Is what I'm
All right. You're definitely using tools.
So super tools, gadgetry,
Mm-hmm.
machine interface as well, or
I
just
think so. Yeah, I think you've set that up, and I think you're being a strategist in this aspect as well. So you got a good die pool here. 2, 4, and 4 more makes it 8.
okay?
You'll find him with 2 successes, but you'll find him without him knowing you found him with 4 successes. You got 8 dice right now.
Mm-hmm.
Any spark you'd like to spend?
I don't think so. I think
All right. Is anyone trying to throw in any help Glitch's way?
Glitch is too worried to use Spark right now. She's still
Okay.
reeling from the cattle prod.
All right. Let's have you roll those 8 dice.
Ooh.
Wow, that is a lot of evens. That is like 1-1, but I said tension wasn't in effect, and then 7 evens. So yeah, that is no problem. This cat is it's like a little ninja cat. It's like a Neko ninja, and it moves around, heads up the rickety stairs to the second story, slides underneath the doorway, and is able to find the Pusher, who is seated in the only nice chair in this little propped up storage area. And the Pusher is smoking a cigarette. He's kind of skinny, head's a little bit shavy. He's got a little bit of like that little goatee thing going on. And he's actually just sitting there watching. There is a guy who looks very similar, but older, to the guy who tried to hold up second time around. Maybe he's like an older brother, and he has a gun trained on this girl that's just seated in one of those folding chairs, and she's wigged out, like completely wigged out at this point. And the guy who has the gun, his face is just tense, like he's gritting his teeth. You can see his white knuckled on the gun. And yeah, Pusher's just sitting there. And then you see that the other boy, the boy who actually tried to rob the place, he says, I mean, if the 500 is going to do it, man, like, just, like, do you have another ring or something? Or like there's something else that I could pawn for you? Like, come on, just let her go, okay? He says, I'm really disappointed. Like, seriously disappointed. What if I have your brother shoot you? Like, you think that would get the point across? Because you seem a little slow. Did I ask for 500? I didn't ask for 500. I was pretty clear. $2,000. Is that too much to ask? So that's what you get. Glitch, what do you do?
Got some info here. I think we need to move pretty fast, but I just had a thought. Does anyone know how to get around Pusher's ability that we know about? Because I don't want to be mind controlled.
I was wondering if a wild card could maybe silence him somehow.
Does he have to talk to do it?
Ooh, interesting.
Does anybody know that? Like I've heard about the guy, but I've never actually directly dealt with him. If he has to talk, yeah, I can stop that. I could also do some other things that might be, just sufficiently distracting.
I mean, I can have the cat jump on him or something, but I think we should probably use that to keep the guy with the gun from shooting someone. But since the cat's in there, we could use that as a distraction. We just got to move fast, I think.
Does anybody know what he actually has to do to throw his power on somebody?
I think copycat, maybe. There's a possibility you've read some files here.
Yeah, I was thinking, is that like a roller?
Yeah, I think it's a roll. Let's say it's a roll with your, I'm sorry, but your head. But the difficulty, like this is right up your alley. So if you have a good success, you've got the deets on what it takes for Pusher to do his job.
Yeah, that makes sense. So let's see. If it's head, it seems pretty normal too. So I'm at 2 so far. Is con artist involved in here?
I don't know. Do you see kind of artists helping you here, or how you're fulfilling that role?
I think. Let's see. How can I spin this? I think maybe since I possibly had worked with him, he's a potential person to shift into. So okay. I kind of tried to figure out as much as possible about these people.
So then that gets you to a 3 dice, and then you're highly trained. So gets you to 5.
Mm-hmm. And you said this was a typical difficulty?
I said that it was a good difficulty.
Good, okay.
3 pals.
So 3. Yeah, I should probably use some of the spark. Right. I think I'm gonna burn 2. So bring me up to set, I think.
All right, I'm gonna clear the dice off of the page, and let's see you. And of course, tension is not in effect because you're trying to recall information. Wow, dang it! Oh wait, no, I saw more evens in there. Oh wait, no, it's 3, exactly 3. Ha ha ha! Congratulations, yes. His powers are the power of his voice. He has like some kind of mental ability that is fueled through jaw.
Perfect. Yeah, so I'll relate that. Like, yeah, if you can just shut him up. Lots of people have tried. You might actually have a shot at it.
Okay. Okay. I'll work something up, and he starts like digging in his pockets. If you can distract him for a minute, I'll need to actually like get relatively close to him to make this work.
And I think Copycat's going to turn into Granny Gehenna and just say like, I have a distraction in mind.
Neat. I'm excited to see what Copycat's distraction is.
So should go into that. Oh, go ahead.
So, when you do that, I'll try and grab the girl.
And then Glitch can help out by using the cat drone. So cool. What is Copycat's plan?
So yeah, since I got a pretty good, I guess view of her, the granny, I'm gonna. I guess they were like a couple levels above us or something. You said?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna try to get where they are first of all. But is that an easy thing?
You guys head up the stairs. That's no problem because he's behind a door. The cat had to crawl underneath the door, so yeah, you guys can make it up and be just outside the door where the cat has indicated and is currently inside. Whether the tense situation is going on, the pusher is now threatening to have older brother shoot younger brother.
Gotcha. So
begging for his own life.
So I think the granny is going to just kind of stroll in here and just like, and what's going on here?
Nice. Cool. So based on time, because I like to do our end of session stuff, we're going to end on another cliffhanger. If you like turning in, and the older brother like turns the gun and the pusher looks at you as well. And yeah, that's the thing, is the big full page spread of all of a sudden Granny Gehenna saying, "What's going on here?" So that will bring our second issue of Hit the Streets, our Kickstarter YouTube live experience, to a close for the actual action. But we'll do our post-game stuff here where we talk about the things to earn or garner you XP. So we got some questions. I actually have... Oof, it was not on this particular version. So I'm going to be revising one of the questions based off of feedback. But we'll start off with, did you clash with someone who threatened your neighborhood? And this is a group thing. I think you guys are nodding, but I was looking at a spreadsheet instead of you. So I assume that everyone nodded yes, because I would agree. Cool. And then the question in the beta, which I'm getting ready to change, is did you avoid open warfare? But the question is going to be changed to, did you protect the citizens of your neighborhood at least once?
I'd say Wraith did, because I don't know, would it... I didn't have to hurt the kid, and we did the thing of the grape and grain, but we're kind of in the middle of saving her. What did you say it went? Or so?
I think so. Well, you saved the guy from committing a crime and getting in a lot of trouble. So I will go with yes. And again, this is group related. So if you guys have done it, then everyone gets the XP. So you're up to 2. And then the third one that is the group related is, did you defeat a villain or rival, or did you defeat a villain or have a conflict with your rival team? I think that was pretty evident that yes, you did. So that's 3 XP for everyone. And then I go around. These are the individual questions. I'm going to start with Wild Card and ask you these two. Did you struggle with your normal day-to-day obligations?
I think this time he did. Like, he's
I think so too.
struggling with Vanna and that question of how to actually help without like messing stuff up.
Yep. And then the second question for you,
He
it's
tried.
just an aspirin with an A and an S taken off. Good. I agree. So that gives you a total of 5. So we will go to Copycat and ask of those. And it's something to glitch in the text I see. So Copycat, did you struggle with your normal day-to-day obligations?
I don't think I did this time so much.
Okay. Yeah. So let's make sure we tackle that in our third issue. I want to highlight and kind of earmark that as a thing we want to do in our next issue. Did you support another teammate when they needed you?
Yeah, this time I probably did.
I agree. So that's 4 XP for you. And then Wraith, did you struggle with your normal day-to-day obligations?
I think so, because I almost gave away my secret identity.
Yeah, and I think a little bit of your struggle is you just gave away $500 in a place that doesn't make much money.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a problem for you.
Yep.
Very soon. Good. And then did you support another teammate when they needed you?
I don't know. Did I?
I don't know. Glitch, do you feel like Wraith was a significant part of the support during the group bonding scene that you guys had?
Oh, yeah, I would say. I mean, Wraith was definitely looking out for me, even though I was a little reluctant to accept that. But there was definitely intent there for sure.
Cool. Well, then that's 5 XP for you. And then last but not least, we have questions for Glitch. Did you struggle, Glitch? Did you struggle with your normal day-to-day obligations?
I didn't get to hang out with my coworkers.
I know, you gave up that chance. Oh, so yes, so you get an XP for that. Did you support another teammate when they needed you?
I think so, with the thing that led to me getting cattle prodded.
Okay. Yeah, Cool. Sounds good. So that's 5 for you as well. Now we do our last bit to wrap up, which is feedback. And as you guys have played with me before, you know that I like roses and thorns. So let me briefly describe it for anyone that it might be new to is watching the video. This is in the book. Like this is a part of the totality of a gaming experience with Hit the Streets, Defend the Block, is that we consider this not just a hobby, but also a craft, something we can get better at. And I love doing this. I've been doing this for a couple of years now, and it's helped me hone and fine and retool. And sometimes there are things that I learned from one group that don't apply to another group. So it's always different. So we start with thorns. Thorns are areas of confusion, missed opportunities, or anything that maybe you wish had happened, but you didn't get an opportunity to see. And so we will start with Chris. And now I'm using player names, right? Because I'm talking to you guys. So, Chris, what thorns did you have from today's session?
I kind of would have liked the opportunity to get more in depth with Wildcard's community like connections. Like I thought that was interesting. I liked that idea, but time wise, I just don't think we had the time to kind of work as much of it in as I would have liked.
Well, we will earmark that along with having some of Copycat's day-to-day obligations. We'll do more of that for Wildcard. Anything else?
No, that was pretty much it this time.
Okay, David, what about you? What thorns did you have from today's session?
Yeah, we actually called out the thing that I was going to bring up is the getting to Copycat's personal kind of life.
Okay.
Also on me too. I keep hinting at like a Spawn-esque, like, oh, she left family members here at some point. I need to throw that in my bio before next time too, because I'm sure that'll be interesting.
Yes, I agree. I've like in the back of my mind, like in my PBTA GMness, like my hard move is the family member shows up, but we haven't had the miss where I'm like, yes, this is the point. But like let's hint towards it. We're over halfway through. We should be doing this before we get in that last chapter because we don't want all of a sudden spring surprise and it doesn't feel like it's earned. So very good point, David. Let's definitely do that. And then John, what about you? What thorns did you have?
Kind of in the same spot. I want to see a little bit more of Copycat, to kind of, I don't know, because it's with the time constraint. I want to know more about everybody, and I don't know how we can fit that in with still, balancing the plot moving forward. But I want to know a lot more about the characters still. So.
I do too. I enjoyed the brief moments we got of you guys from the day-to-day, but I think we should explore a little bit more of it. So maybe in chapter 3, once we resolve this thing with the pusher, we can take a step back, see how you guys exist, and breathe in the knuckle. I think that's a really good suggestion, John. Thank you. And then Joshua, what thorns did you have, my friend?
I think it's the same stuff. I enjoyed what we had of the kind of like daytime stuff. And I just want to see more of that.
Awesome. And then we'll stick with you because you were last to go with thorns. You get to be first with roses. Roses are, positive feedback to your other players, moments that are highlights for you that you'll take away from tonight's session and remember fondly, hopefully. What about you? What roses did you have?
Yeah, I think my rose is a little bit general, but it's just I really thought everyone's character is starting to show. Everybody has their kind of like niche where they fit into the party really well. I loved John, your voice for Wraith. I love Copycat getting a really nice like combat scene. Chris's fun antics as Wildcard are always great, and Granny Gehenna was like A+. Bringing that in was fantastic, and she was just a fun character. So,
thank you, Joshua. And John, what about you? What roses did you have?
Definitely Granny Gehenna. That was one of my favorite characters. I want to give for the system itself, the 2 difficulties being codified in there is such a strong thing. I really liked how a lot of the setups that you used in it, with like the 1 difficulty for this and 3 for this, like just that's something that it's kind of PBTA-ish, but not quite the same. And it's something that like I try and do a lot in other games, but like this is the first one where it actually like says to do the plurality of difficulties. So I really appreciate that. And copycat scene with Captain Shadow was really good, and lots of good scenes for everybody all around.
Nice. Thanks. I agree. I've really enjoyed the copycat Captain Shadow scene. So, David, what roses did you have?
Yeah, I really that Granny Gehenna fight was amazing too, and also that refresh scene we had. I thought that was really fun, especially I think that gave me a really good handle on like Copycat's personality there, and everyone was kind of bouncing off each other. It was really great.
Yeah, I agree. And I'm going to sneak in because Chris would never rose himself and say, I appreciate how Chris kind of took that bonding scene to the next level by bringing in both Wraith and Copycat into it and kind of reincorporating some things. And so we stretched it out a little bit, made it a lot more personal. And so big kudos / rose for you, Chris. That was nice to see you elevate that scene and also be more inclusive to the entire group. So good job. Chris, what roses did you have?
Oh, I really liked how Copycat kind of came into like that. And David mentioned this, how Copycat sort of came into herself with this session a lot more. Like that role is now a lot more defined than it had previously. And I'm not sure that Copycat would necessarily be the con artist with that personality. Like I can see her, taking on several roles based on what we saw today. That might be something to look at, because that came out a lot more, and I thought that was really cool. And I enjoyed John Cena talking down the kid. I thought that was great. And because you see, like the impulse in a lot of superhero comics would be like to have the badass moment, just kick the snot out of that punk. That could very easily happen in like your street level superhero situation. But I like the direction you took that in, like because that like I think that points to the neighborhood like facet of the game. Like this is where you live. You don't want to have live in a neighborhood where like some kid screws up and he gets the stuffing kicked out of him. So that I thought that was pretty cool. And Joshua Glitch's mannerisms, like how she went from like how she showed how messed up she was by that whole situation by becoming like more talkative and more open, and like I just thought that sort of fraying at the edges of Glitch's normal reserve, I thought was just a really great way to show that. And and Rich, I'll echo like Granny Gehenna, like that was awesome. Like that, the only thing I could think of that would have made it more perfect is if she would have like been sticking him with like an electro cane. Like if she would have just had a cane in there and just jabbed her with it.
Missed opportunity. Oh, that's such a great idea. Oh, dang it. That's really good. The cattle prod.
But the cattle prod imagery like was very stark, and I kind of did like that too. It's like she showed, it's like, and she's got a cattle prod in her hand in this bathroom.
I mean, I was going to have a scene where she's like carrying around one of those huge granny purses because it's just big enough to carry a cattle prod. But yeah, a cane. Good suggestion. Maybe she does have a cane. Maybe she's got a trick cane, like a penguin cane. Oh man, Granny Gehenna, that's it.
The cattle prod was inside the cane. Like you didn't see it, but I guess that's where it came from.
Snaps it out. That's great. You guys, this has been really fun. Rose to all of you. Thank you for bringing interesting, vibrant characters, for developing them on the spot, for having those cool moments in your day-to-day, and us getting to see that. And I cannot wait until our 3rd issue. So thank you all so much for participating, and I'll stop the broadcast here.